Talent without guidance is like a tennis ball with no direction. It has a lot of energy, but it's going nowhere. So, if you're a tennis player stuck at a certain level in your performance, or you don't want to get to that level, then this video is for you. In this video, we'll be seeing the 3 major factors that hinder your tennis negatively. Okay guys, welcome back. In this video, as I said, we'll be dealing with the 3 factors that are making you not to perform better, or that are helping you to get stuck on that level in which you are presently. So right now, that takes us to the first point. But when I say the first point, I know the first thing that will come into your mind will be the technique. But sorry, we won't be talking about the technique in this video, because I'm pretty sure that you and your coach have been working on your technique 80 to 90% every day on court. So the first factor we'll be seeing here is poor fitness routine. I always say this: we keep fit in order to play tennis. We don't play tennis in order to keep fit. Tennis is a very physical demanding sport. It requires a lot of movement, a lot of explosiveness, and it requires a lot of attention, speed, agility, flexibility, and so on and so forth. The problem we have with fitness here is we don't have a specific fitness routine that is related to tennis. Players and coaches should take note that all the skills they have acquired technically can only be better if they are physically fit. Because if you don't have the capacity of running very fast, stopping to play a ball at the right time, you will get late on that ball and you will make a wrong choice. And while hitting that ball late, you make a wrong choice and you lose the point. You will turn out blaming the technique. No, it's just because you couldn't get to the ball fast enough to play, change direction, and come recover, getting set to react for the next ball. I have this personal experience when I was quite younger. I used to do a lot of fitness drills back home. I could run for 2 hours. I jogged for 2 hours. And when I went to the court, I saw my coach. The coach told me, "Oh, today we'll be having fitness." I told him, I'm very fit because like 3 to 4 times in a week, I could run for 2 hours. He said, "No. Are you preparing for a marathon?" I said, "No." He said, "Then you're not preparing for tennis, because you're preparing as if you're going for a marathon. But in tennis, it's different." He said, "Let's try it." He came with his ball basket. He started feeding one ball from one alley to the other. I couldn't drop to 20 balls. I was already exhausted. That's when he told me that the way we prepare for tennis, or our endurance in tennis, is different, because we don't just run like a marathonee that runs straight and has a certain distance to cover and with time. But in tennis, you need to run fast, accelerate, decelerate, stop, hit an explosive shot, change direction, come back, and repeatedly within a short period of time. And that requires a different level of preparation. So the problem we are facing also in tennis is that we don't incorporate fitness at the beginning of our tennis lessons. We start with the technique, which is quite important, but at a certain level, if we only focusing on the technique, players tend to see fitness as a punishment. So they'll try to cheat away and run from it. So they focus more on the technical aspect. But if you incorporate fitness at the foundation, players will say that's something that is required and they will do it without hesitation. So what I would like you to do here is try to incorporate specific tennis fitness drills in your training routines. takes us to our next point. The next factor we will be seeing is excessive repetitions of tennis drills. Excessive repetition of tennis drills, they are very important, right? Because it helps in acquiring muscle memory, which is very important in building skills. But excessive repetition is a killer, because the first thing it takes away from a player is the ability to adapt. Once adaptability is being reduced or is being subtracted from a player, it's very impossible for that player to be a high performance player, or for the player to improve in any level. Because adaptability is one of those keys that will help you in winning many matches. If you're not able to change your strategy at a certain point because the opponents are not the same like the one you played, and this is clear for sure, no two tennis matches are the same. Even if you play with the same player, that match you played before won't be the same. So if you're unable to adapt to that real life situation, that present situation, it'll be difficult for you to overcome that player. And how does excessive repetition helps you not to progress? Because when a drill is being repeated excessively, you tend to become a robot. The mind doesn't think at that moment what you're doing. It just becomes something that you play as a reflex. So you're playing as a robot. But when the situations have been changed, you're unable to adapt. So I would like both you and your coach to try to incorporate real life situation drills, vary your drills within a certain length of time. I don't want to go too detailed into this because I will be coming back in another video that will be separately talking about these three factors. So this takes us into the third and final phase of this video. So this final phase of this video is very important because here it affects us at all levels. Even at the level of the professionals, I still see some players having problems with this because it starts with the coach and migrates to the players. Both the coach and players play a great role in this, which is communication. In this part, I will divide it into two. The first part will be negative criticism. The work comes from the coach and sometimes from the players. And the person that inspires me about this is Patrick Muatoglu, because he talks about it almost every time. Most of the times we see our coaches always being negative about their players. When I say negative, I'm talking about the coaches don't appreciate the things that the players are able to do positively. The coach's perception matters because it helps the player to gain confidence in him or herself. I asked the coach that, how do you see your player? The first thing the coach will be telling you, negative. That, his backhand is not that consistent, his serves are weak. Rather than telling me about the explosive forehand that he has, the wonderful footwork pattern that he sees him moving, or how agile the player is, or how mentally tough the player is, But the first thing the coach would be telling you is negative. So if you have that negative perception vis-a-vis your player, it becomes very difficult for you to impact that player positively. Because most of the times you'll be concentrating on correcting what is wrong with the player rather than encouraging the player to do the best in what the player is already strong in, or where the player is comfortable, or where the player is best in. So our advice coaches to encourage their players to do what is best for them or what they are best at. If a player has a good forehand, a big forehand, or a big backhand, encourage the player to be using that. And now this goes to the players. I have one of my players, she always has this. When I asked her, how are you doing? How was your match? She said, oh coach, my backhand sucks. I couldn't serve properly. I said, no, but what could you do? Was it like a 6-love without you winning any point? I said, no, I played, it was a good match, I won. I said, but why don't you encourage yourself? Why don't you talk about the things you did well? I want to know the things you have been doing good. Tell me about the good forehand. Tell me about your speed, you running and you picking up the drop shots, you going to the net, and the good volleys you've been playing. By so doing, it would boost the confidence of the player. So players should take note in recognizing where and what they are good at. Once you recognize that, encourage yourself in using that as a weapon. And I think by so doing, your performance will increase in a certain level that you wouldn't even imagine. So this takes us into the final phase of it, which is effective communication. And this effective communication is between the coach and the player. Yeah, I'm talking about theory. Tennis is a practical sport, but it's a practical sport with a lot of theory in it. 80% of the time we concentrate on the practical part of it, of the game. But we forget that if the players don't understand the theory, it will be difficult for them to practice at the best level. I say this because I've been asking my players question and asking other players question that why do you do this? They are unable to tell me why they are doing this and why they are not doing the opposite. They just know they have to do that, but they don't know why they're doing it. They don't have any clue about it. Yeah, that's why you see players performing so great during a training session, but during a competition or a match, they don't match up to that expectation. Because what they do during the training session had not been explained to them why they are supposed to do that. So when they go during the competitions, they're unable to reproduce that because the brain is unable to understand what has been done during the training session. So unless they understand it, it will be unable for them to do that. So if the players don't understand what you're explaining or why the practical is necessary, it will be difficult for them to repeat that during their matches. So I would like you to blend theory with practice. For example, players don't know why they have to do a split step before every shot. They don't know why. Some players don't know why they have to make contact in front. Some players they don't know why a crossover step is better at certain situations than a normal shuffle step, right? So if you explain to them why they're supposed to do that, I think they will understand it better and they will do that during their competitions and it will help them boost their performance. So in a nutshell, this video will be talking about how to help you boost your performance. So the first thing you need to start with is fitness. Then if you're physically fit, you'll be able to play all the balls, and you won't have a wrong shot, and you'll be able to vary. And if you're able to vary, that's already into adaptation. So if you're able to adapt by reducing the level at which you're repeating your drills, and if you're communicating perfectly well with your players, and the coach is communicating with the players, and the players communicating with the coach, explaining things, that why things are supposed to be done and why they're not supposed to be done, it will help you understand what you're doing on court and effectively boost your performance. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I would like you to click on the subscription button and click on the thumbs up, share, give me your comments, and I'll be dropping so many videos about tennis performance. So see you in the next video, and stay tuned to Coach Paul Tennis Fit.